With anxious looks on their faces, the few hundred soldiers who, moments ago, were fighting ferociously with each other, began filing into the fortress. My subordinates, with the exception of Toon, are looking confused, and those surrounding them seem to be explaining the situation. Speaking of which, Heidi, what is a troll?
Local subsentient former. Primarily bipedal. Approximately 10-ton males, 20-ton females, herbivorous. Usually placid, but obviously if they decide to take offense to something, nothing short of an elephant gun will take them down. Every year on this planet there are half a dozen or so fatal troll attacks, she answers, digging in a compartment that sits between her seat and the species' handlebars. She pulls out what I can identify as a slug thrower.
Is that an elephant gun, Heidi? I query tentatively.
In answer, she only shakes her head.
Is it something more powerful?
I ask incredulously.
She shakes her head again. Then,
it's something I hope will mean no one having to die today. I would offer to let you get off, Daqual, but given how much more vulnerable you'll be on the ground and how difficult you'll find flying in this gravity, I think you're better off staying put, despite the direction we're going to be headed.
And what direction is that? I ask, already suspecting.
In answer, she only turns the bite towards the disturbed trees. Later.
I catch a glimpse of something terrifyingly enormous. It's as tall as a quarat bird, but if the translation of its mass is accurate, between 20 and 40 times as massive. It weighs through the trees.
Female, fully grown, says the woman, as much to herself as me.
She enters a turn, circling around the animal and allowing me to piece together a coherent picture of what it looks like below the canopy. The patches of skin that I can see are a purplish-grey colour. It's mostly covered in light grey fur. Its weight is supported on 2 columnar legs with 3 toes. It has 2 arms ending in 3 digits, a thumb on the opposite sides of its hands from those which Terrans have, opposing 2 fingers that look stubby but are probably each more than half as long as the woman whose back I currently hold is tall. It has 2 ears which protrude greatly, between them more than doubling the width of its head. 2 eyes mounted on the sides of its face rather than the front, and 2 tusks that frame a nose, jutting directly out above his top lip.
Wish me luck. I've never done this before. Oh, and let me do the talking.
Before I can ask what that means, my pilot takes aim at the creature's head and, with an explosive pwaff, discharges her slug thrower. The creature roars and she immediately brings the speeder out to range with his long arms. Heidi brings the bike to a stop, facing the creature, and waits for it to calm down from having been blasted in the head. I look to the point on its head where she shot, and see a device that definitely wasn't there before.
Hello there,
says my pilot, with a kind tone that I would not be able to muster under the circumstances. The creature just stares up at her for a few moments, before slowly, or seeming slow from the perspective of its body being so large, but probably actually quite fast, extended one of its long arms towards us. Heidi neither increases our altitude nor takes any evasive maneuver of any kind, trusting instead to her initial calculation of the creature's reach. Those crushing manipulators get much closer than I would like. Having established that we are beyond its reach, the creature says, "Hurting," rubbing the side of his head. It has a slow, mournful voice that fills the gentle giant archetype to a T.
Yes, I'm very sorry about that. It was just to let her speak. I hope you can forgive me.
Forgiving, says the creature reluctantly. Kindly, Heidi asks,
Why are you going this way?
Needing, answers the creature.
It's just, there are a lot of people this way, says the woman.
Knowing, needing, helping, insists the troll.
They don't need help with anything.
Not them helping, needing helping, says the creature frustratedly.
You need help, says the human a little disbelievingly.
Yes, helping needing, confirms the creature.
What could we help you with?
The creature, with an anguished tone to his translated voice, explains.
Baby, stocking, hurting, not fitting helping.
Your baby is stuck and hurt somewhere, and you're too big to get it out.
Yeah,
says the animal in answer. How long has your child been stuck? Pointing to the east horizon, the creature answers.
Sun setting.
About 16 hours, mutters my pilot before saying, Can you show us where your baby is? At full volume.
Able showing. You able helping?
Says the animal suspiciously. Not on my own, no, but if you show us the way, then I can tell those people back there, and they can find me. It will be quicker that way. Can you trust me? A long moment of hesitation before the animal answers.
Trusting.
And turns around. An audible sigh of relief emanates from the woman as she takes out her holopad. The call is picked up almost instantly by her wife, who frantically answers. Heidi, are you alright? What's happening? I'm fine, sweetheart. I've turned back the troll, but I'm going to need you to wrangle some strapping volunteers and someone with veterinary training. Later. The troll is leading us past the boundary of the forest into the open highlands that my pilot has explained are its natural habitat. Following behind us is a large transport capsule containing several dozen of the stronger Terrans from the reenactment, still dressed as archaic warriors, while holding various pieces of equipment that might be necessary to liberate a greater than 700 kilogram baby troll. When the AI, who coordinates the local capsule company, was contacted to have the reason explained that a capsule was necessary and no specific destination corners could be provided, he apparently made the executive decision to donate the use of the transport at no charge. It was unclear to me, having had the story second-hand, whether that was as a result of him having his heart moved by the plight of the baby troll, him thinking this might be a good marketing opportunity, him being amused by several dozen burly biologicals in the garb of ancient soldiers following a troll all day at a glacial 12 kilometers per hour, or some combination of the three. We arrive at a field of jagged boulders at the base of a cliff. The field, where the Terran fortification stands, is just about visible in the distance. I hear the trapped infant long before I see it. The pained, anguished, high-pitched bleating makes it difficult to think. The troll mother shows us to a narrow crevice in the rock, at the bottom of which is a gargantuan baby, thoroughly wedged. Heidi indicates the tethered transport capsule to come into land. Victor, Miss Hunter, Katrin, the enormous uplift from the other night's play, and the man who played Victor's brother in the reenactment earlier, are amongst those that disembark. The human hybrid, who I saw talking with Zon, Emiko and Miss Hunter the other night, strives forward to be the first one on the ground to look into the chasm. After what to me looked like a glance, the reddish-brown-haired hybrid man begins barking instructions out to the rest present. He seems to have some experience in the logistics of moving heavy loads in awkward confines. Heidi lands and I hop off the speeder, trying to stay out of the way as Terrans go hither and thither. One goes into the hole to offer the baby food, water, and soothing words that it won't understand. The rest begin laying out straps, used earlier to erect the palisade, under the direction of the hybrid, while the mother troll looms nervously over the entire scene. It's astonishing to watch how quickly they coordinate the solution to this challenge. You would never guess that all of these people hadn't woken up today, knowing that baby troll liberation was the second item on their itinerary, with how readily they take to the task. The straps are tossed down to the comforter, who goes about weaving them about the creature's body, that is, until... "No use," announces the man, still in his kingly garb. "His legs are wedged too tightly. I can't get my hands in." "Keep trying. If we can't get the strap under his legs, we're going to really fucking hurt him pulling him out," rules the one directing, his face bearing a severe expression above his beard. I look at the creature's legs and observe the issue. Then I notice something. I approach the hybrid and say, "Excuse me, sir?"
"Yes, what?"
he answers, not looking at me, and with a brusque tone that tells me he thinks I'm about to waste his time. "I believe I would be able to fit through that gap, between his shins. Once I'm in the cavity beneath his legs, I might be able to help by passing the strap around underneath." He looks to me, eyes wide with incredulity, but before he can answer, Victor does.
Cap, no. That creature's got to be the best part of a ton of wild animal, stressed out to the extreme. He may be a baby, but that just means he has even less control of himself than otherwise. If he decided to thrash while you're down there, you'd be crushed. Or think of something else.
Well, and good to say, Victor, but that creature has already been down there for well over half a local day. Even being a death welder, he can't survive an indefinite stressful confinement while injured. If Mr. I gesture promptingly to the hybrid.
Cinderason.
If Mr. Cinderason here approves, then I'm afraid I shall have to overrule you on this matter. The two of us turn, expectantly to hear his answer. Staring directly down and ahead, the man strokes his voluptuous beard for a few moments, clearly deep in calculation. Finally he answers,
Do it,
before turning to a frowning Victor to instruct,
Go down with her, hold the gap open, keep the legs from collapsing as best you can.
Victor nods, with some reluctance, and bends down to offer me his back. The blue-eyed man in kingly dress with a short beard, who attached all to the previous straps, is in position at the baby's head, speaking soothingly to it, in a way which I wouldn't have been able to imagine. Watching him scream, presumable demands for surrender in an ancient tongue, either. It occurs to me now how easily the baby might, intentionally or unintentionally, crush the man against the crevice wall. With the 5 meter or so of distance that I had, observing it from the top, I didn't fully process just what a large, powerful animal this infant is. Well, Taqual, you volunteered. You are bringing shame to Raquel if you were to develop tremorous wings now. I hop off Victor's back, and he bends to put his hands between the troll's shins and pull them apart, such that the gap is widened. I slide through without much difficulty. The baby's skin is coarse and his hair bristly. I find myself in a cavity. I can't stand up straight, but...
You alright, Cap? How is it down there?
Queries Victor, bringing a single emerald eye to the gap. It's fine, Victor. Not that much more cramped than the cockpit of a Raquel starfighter. He laughs at that. If you pass me the straps, I'll get them attached.